Hey guys, sorry it took so long for me to come back. I said it was gonna go on a 2-month hiatus. Instead, I went on a 2-year hiatus. I really needed that time, that break. In that time, I've met a beautiful woman. We now have a 4-year-old child together. She's adorable. Her name is Misty. Anyway, I'm also currently the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and everything's just going great in my life. I'm really glad I took a break from this channel. Anyway, I was feeling a little nostalgic, so I decided to come back, make a quick video, and you know what? Hey, let's do a little bit of role-playing. I think that'd be fun. Let's pretend like it is June 11th, 2023. Xbox just had that showcase direct thingy, in which they showed off, properly revealed Persona 3 Reload, remember when that leaked? Persona 5 Tactica, which remember when that leaked? Who the hell would think that game is called Tacticia? So, let's pretend they just showed that off, but then they followed all that up. They blew those out of the water. Who cares about Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica when they just brought back Project ReFantazio, now renamed Metaphor ReFantazio. Man, that game looks so cool. This looks so freaking good. Stylistically, it looks even cooler than P5. The shading style of the art when you're in like the menu or on that main key art looks so cool. It looks more akin to Soejima's classic style that he used when he was working on like the original Persona 3 and Stella Deus, as well as like the covers of the Soejima art books, which personally is my favorite version of his work. I really like his art style, but I think it is at its best when he's doing that, I don't know what you'd even call it, that rendering style, that shading style. I don't know enough about art, but it looks so good. The colors in the UI, the contrasting pinkish reds on that seafoam blue is so striking. It's so pretty. The enemy designs are really cool and nothing like Atlus has really done before. There are some, okay, to be fair, there are some monsters in there that are like kind of basic, but the ones that are like unique are really cool. First off, there's those weird teeth dudes, which I actually kind of think might be the Jack Frost equivalent for the game. The only reason I think that is because one, they're like weird little dudes, but also towards the end of the trailer, when it says in 2024, the dot on the eye is one of those little teeth dudes, which makes me think he'll probably have some more prominence as kind of like a mascot. But it wouldn't be like a Morgana or a Teddy. It'd be, again, more like a Jack Frost, where it's this weird little gremlin dude who's an enemy that you'll fight. But yeah, I really like him. There's also, what is it, the Rafflesia? That weird flower that, like, it stinks, Vileplume, is based on it. Is that really stinky flower that has, like, a really weird look to it. Rafflesia? I don't know what it is. It's like this weird, like, that flower spider creature. It looks really cool, looks really creepy. There's also that quick shot of this really, like, it looks like a boss in my opinion. It looks like this weird boss monster with a tentacle coming out of its mouth. These designs are really cool. Though, I mean, like I said, there are a few designs that we see in the trailer, for enemies I mean, that look a little basic. There's that weird green moth that, I feel like you could see in a bunch of other games, but the way it's modeled is really cool and like distinctly Atlus. There's also that dragon, which, like, hey, it's a cool dragon. Dragons are cool, but, I mean, let's be real. It's a dragon. Lots of people do dragons. Even if you do a really cool dragon, it's still going to be kind of basic. Whatever, it's a fantasy game. Generally, though, the art direction in this game just looks really impeccable. There's the one shot of the Majora's Mask moon thing with the faces in its right eye. It looks so cool, and I just love the way it's depicted. It's creepy and gross and, demonic. The music is also really, really cool sounding. Meguro, it seems like Meguro is going back to a Strange Journey style of music for this, where it's gonna be more of like these chants, which, as far as I'm aware, in Strange Journey, they were kind of nonsensical and they were used more as an instrument in their own right, and that seems to be the case here. But there is, I will say, I really love that one dude who goes like, like he sounds really goofy. It's like 25 seconds into the trailer. It sounds really goofy, but I like this style. It sounds really cool. It's new and different for Atlus, which is, you know, kind of ironic since I just said it seems to be going back to a more Strange Journey style of music, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. They haven't done something like this since 2009. Technically, like what, 2017, 2018, but we're not going to count Redux. That's a, you know, enhanced re-release. The protagonist looks like kind of a weird mix of Marth, which honestly, I kind of get it. I kind of get what they're going for here. The whole idea is that this is the Hashino Persona team branching out and doing something brand new that they've never done before, which is very similar to what they did with the original Persona 3. So it kind of makes sense that they would have a protagonist who looks a lot like Makoto Yuki. And then of course the Marth aspect is the fact that this is very like, you know, a medieval fantasy, but yeah, no, it's this weird mixing of them that I kind of like it. I don't know, I'm not like in love with it, but I like the idea. I like the idea of what they're going for. So let's move on to talking about a little bit about the gameplay. First off, just looking at everything, this game screams fusion of SMT and Persona mechanics. It seems like for every single Persona mechanic in the game, there is an SMT specific mechanic. First off, there's freaking magnetite. When was the last time magnetite was used in anything SMT, or even just Atlus in general? Like, is it gonna work the exact same? I don't know, but the fact that magnetite is here at all is like kind of crazy. The calendar system from Persona, of course, makes its return. I wonder if this means the game is gonna take place over the course of a full year. Another thing I'm kind of wondering now that I say it is the calendar system somewhat implies that this could potentially all take place within like a central hub town, and then you like go out on adventures. I wonder if it is going to have that central hub town, or if it's going to be like, you know, a traditional RPG in which you go from town to town to town. There's multiple, and then maybe the calendar system works in a different way. Maybe something where it's like you have to complete the story by this end date, or, you know, you have to go to this area, you have to get over to this area and complete the dungeon before this date. I don't know, it seems it could go either way. We don't actually get a look at the calendar menu. All we see is the day and the time and like not much else. There's also a calendar option on the main menu, so I don't know, we'll have to learn more about that. I'm wondering if it'll be the exact same as P5 or if it will be something different, something more unique. Going back over to the SMT side of things, it looks like this game just straight up has press turn in it. There are 4 crystal icons at the top of the screen whenever it shows them in combat, one of which disappears in another clip and the other one shrinks. And it could indicate press turn, similar to how like Nocturne did it, where it's like it shows the one icon, and then if you know, hit a crit or exploit a weakness, then it'll start pulsing. This would similarly, if you just miss or you don't do anything with the attack, it'll have one crystal disappear. But then if you do a crit or you exploit a weakness, then it will like just shrink and it'll be like a half turn. Another thing, again, going back over to Persona, social skills are just in the game, though this time it seems they are going to be courage, wisdom, tolerance, eloquence, and imagination. Those last two, I'm really wondering what those could even really be. Another Persona thing that's in the game seems to be navigators. You have this little pixie girl named, what was it, Gallica? Gallica, I'm assuming is a fairy. Gallica the fairy. And it says in the menu when you open like the equipment screen, it says Navi, so navigator. I wonder if, again, much like the calendar system, I'm wondering if it will work the exact same as it did in, you know, Persona 3, 4, and 5, or if it could work in a different way. Regardless, the title is here. We just don't actually know how it will work in-game. Another Persona thing, you know, okay, so earlier I said that for every Persona mechanic, there's an SMT mechanic. That's not fully true, but you know what I mean. Another Persona mechanic that's in the game is not social links, at least based on this trailer. Because there's a part where it shows the main character shaking hands with a bunch of people and the frame rate dips. I'll get to that later. The frame rate dips, but they shake hands and it says bond formed. I'm wondering if this is going to be something less of a let's hang out and be friends sort of thing, and instead have it be something more formal. Everything else with this trailer gives off a sophisticated vibe instead of something casual, so I could imagine it won't be as personable, or rather it won't be personable in the same way that Persona's social links are personable. So one thing that I'm a little disappointed by is what seems to be not personas. It seems like these things are going to be called archetypes. They all have these like white and black looking things. It honestly reminds me of whatever those like the pawns or whatever from Monarch, that very middle of the road, not great game from years ago. I actually genuinely don't even remember. It was beginning of 2022. That's it. It had really good music, and like that was kind of it. That's all I really remember it for at this point. Anyway, these archetypes seem to just be not personas, and that, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little disappointed by it, just because I was hoping for a system that would be more unique, something new. But now that I understand that there's gonna be a lot of mergings of SMT and Persona in this, I get it, but I am a little bummed out that it seems like, at least based on first impressions, this is just Personas again, but not Personas. During the shot where it opens the equipment menu, it looks like there's enough space for 3 more party members. But as it is, what we see, there's Stroll the Warrior, who I'm going to call not Akihiko, who's wearing the Amazon Samurai outfit from SMT4, Hulkenberg the Knight, which to me looks like might be a newer version of the red-haired elf girl design Atlus released years ago. Her hairstyle and outfit are different. Maybe that original design is still in the game somewhere, maybe as like an important character. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time this team has tossed a design before reusing it as a different character. Hazemei the Thief, who looks to be filling that mascot role. Again, Morgana and Teddy as opposed to Jack Frost. But to me, I like how he looks more weird than cutesy. Like, on the spectrum of weird little dudes that often function as mascots, he reminds me more of like the Nopon than Morgana or Teddy. There's also one shot with the not Akihiko, Elf Kasumi, and Rabbit creature that also has a girl with long blonde hair, a girl with a third eye, and a dude wearing what I thought was a suit, but is actually a black outfit with a white scarf. If I had to guess, the girl with the long blonde hair and the white scarf guy, look like they could be party members, but the third eye girl gives me the vibes of someone who the party escorts somewhere. I don't know, there's something regal or like religious about her that to me, it gives me the feeling of this is not someone who fights. This is not someone who fights, whether it be through magic or through, physical weaponry. So I don't know. These other two, to be fair, we don't get a good enough look at the white scarf dude, at least not in this trailer. But him, from what little we can see, as well as the long blonde-haired woman, they look like they could actually fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being party members. But just looking at it, I don't think the third-eyed girl is actually going to be a party member. I think there's going to be a part where, we have to protect her or something. In general, some other last thoughts. The frame rate, as I said earlier, the frame rate dips in certain spots in the trailer, and that is, I'm gonna be honest, that's just straight up concerning. Yes, it is a year out before anyone says this. It could be fixed, because again, it's coming out in 2024, but I'm talking about what is being shown off to us right now. If you're gonna show this to me, I'm gonna react to it. If you show me something with frame rate issues or other stuff, I'm gonna respond with concerns about that. Just because they could be fixed before release doesn't mean my concerns are disqualified or anything. I look at this and it doesn't look to be a deal breaker because again, it is a turn-based RPG, but I look at this and I just think, I don't know, I'm a little concerned. The way this trailer is edited, by the way, is a little, I don't want to say strange, but it's just so fast and so much is in it. I feel like the editing's a little off. It shows too much too quickly. It's only like what? Like a minute and a half, really, once you cut out all the Xbox logos and stuff. And I feel like they show almost too much in that time. I don't know. That is, ignore that. That is not a comment on the game. That is a comment about me as a video editor. I'm just looking at this. I'm like, this is a lot of information, and a lot of it looks really, really cool. But I feel like just watching it, I kind of come away, after having watched it a number of times, rather, I come away from it thinking just like, this feels like a little too much, maybe. I don't know. Another little thing I like is the fact that you can ride a sword around like a skateboard, though I am wondering if it's going to feel like you're actually writing something, or if it's just going to be like an animation while the actual movement itself feels the exact same as if you were just walking around or running around. But yeah, no, that's just everything I want to say about Metaphor ReFantazio. It's going to take a little bit for me to get used to this new name. I'm just so used to ReFantasy. It's been 8 years since this got announced, and I think like 3 years ago they said, hey, the game is like 95% done, and then we just never heard anything ever again. Like I'm surprised. But regardless, I'm really happy. It stole the show for me. I know a lot of people are really excited about P3 Reload, but learning that news about how it's not actually gonna be the full game, it's not gonna be the definitive P3 experience, which I think is incredibly stupid, and I feel like the majority of people agree that that is really, really stupid for them to do. I feel like this is the one thing to come out of Atlus in this showcase that everyone just kind of agrees is hype. P3 Reload has some issues. P5 Tactica, not a lot of people actually care about that, it seems. But Metaphor looks really, really dang cool. I'm very excited to play it in a year. I hope it's great. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am tired. I'm gonna go sleep. Bye.